Hi folks, it's FloridaMan with a new entry in the Strategic Maxims series concerning things for which princes are praised or blamed. This video is not based on a specific phrase used, but is inspired by Chapter 15 of Machiavelli's The Prince, and assisted with some ideas from John Huntsman's Winners Never Cheat. Diplomacy is a game of both politics and warfare, so there's great value in presenting a semblance of who you are, as well as in being different from that in reality, and in being able to switch in and out of those states so that in front of other people you're one thing, and when you're making your plans and writing your orders, you are another. As Machiavelli noted centuries ago, there are some qualities for which princes are praised and others for which they are blamed. And this fact is true for leaders today and those who play war games today, as much as it was in Machiavelli's time. But which qualities are praised and which are blamed are not always exactly correlated with which qualities we need to have in order to be successful as princes. Therefore, it's important to distinguish between qualities that you need to pretend to have, so you remember to pretend to have them, versus qualities you should actually have, so you can deliberately seek to acquire those, since acquiring qualities or honing them is more difficult than temporarily pretending to be a different way than you are, and since actually acquiring some of the qualities that you ought to pretend to have would actually be harmful to your long-term success. Some good qualities to appear to have are keeping your word or seeming honest and honorable, having a good attitude, being gracious or nice, or showing your sense of humor, and returning favors. Seeming to have these qualities can even, without the other players being aware of it, influence them to emulate those qualities, or alter their behavior in ways beneficial to you. Being near a moral influence can make others more moral. If you seem honest, most people will subconsciously want to be more honest with you. And if you seem to be nice, or funny, or just a positive person to be around, other people will not be as happy with the idea of taking you out of the game. They'll hesitate. That hesitation can save you, or even deliver you a win sometimes. Do this whole thing right, and you may even lull people into behaving in almost as trustworthy of a manner as they do in their ordinary lives. I also suggest that you give justifications for the attacks you make. Machiavelli believed that engaging in occasional cruelties was sometimes necessary for a prince to remain in power, but it was valuable to have some convenient justification for the oppression you engage in. I think this applies to diplomacy too. When you have a justification, your annexation of territory will magically seem more virtuous, and your allies will be slightly less worried about you going after them next. The justifications don't have to be great, but I will say that better justifications are unsurprisingly better. If you're Russia and you're part of a juggernaut alliance, the only justification you really need to attack Germany is that Germany is the only power you can attack via land once Austria is gone. On the other hand, the very best justification you can give for an attack, if you can make it convincing, is the victim's sneakiness and treachery. Yes, I attacked Germany. He was trying to push me to attack you, and I assumed he was saying the same things to you, so I thought it was necessary to get rid of him. In brief, I think I would say the general theme of this video is, nice guys don't necessarily finish last, but ruthlessness is a requirement to finish first. Those nice traits might win you the other player's trust, and that's powerful. That should not be discounted. But you can only really make use of having their trust if you're prepared to betray them at the appropriate moment. I should note there are also good qualities to actually have and to show, because these will both motivate people to work with or follow you and give them confidence in you as an ally, and also make it more likely that you'll actually do well. These qualities include things like courage, boldness, strength, firmness, tact. In other words, qualities people actually tend to like in their real-world leaders. On a similar note, it's okay to be tough in negotiating deals. In fact, if you have the leverage on your side, I would say it's even expected. However, you don't usually want to be observed to blatantly violate the terms of deals you make, at least not until late in the game, especially not very soon after you made the deals. That sort of behavior makes you look obviously untrustworthy. Now, I didn't give any examples from specific games for any of this stuff, because these are kind of constant behaviors, but I want you to experiment with them instead in your ordinary life. Try to be a little bit nicer, a little more gracious, a little funnier, and see how people around you respond. Make show of how much you enjoy returning favors, or of how honest and honorable you are, and see how people react. Don't be obnoxious or overbearing about it, and it can be obnoxious or overbearing if you're really heavy-handed, but I think you'll find, and you can probably already think of examples from your own real life, that this inspires people to generally be more considerate of you, nicer to you. You'll notice people smiling at you more, and you'll know this is something you can use. Not that we would ever maliciously take advantage of people's emotions in everyday life. But of course, this is not everyday life. This is diplomacy. I'll say no more. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if so, I hope you'll like, subscribe, and maybe comment below with your own observations about the things for which princes are praised or blamed, and your own thoughts on what we've been discussing. Till next time, FloridaMan out.